You wake up with an entire world still burning behind your eyes. For 3 seconds it is there. The hallway that turned into an ocean. The person you haven't seen in years speaking like they never left. The impossible city where every street made perfect sense until the moment you opened your eyes. Then it vanishes. Not slowly. Not politely. It collapses so fast that by the time your hand reaches for your phone, all you have left is a feeling. A color, a sentence with the middle missing. And the strangest part is not that you dreamed. The strangest part is that your brain can build an entire universe at night, then destroy the evidence before breakfast. So where does the dream go? For most of human history, people assumed dreams disappeared because they were mysterious, spiritual, or simply too strange to belong to waking life. Ancient Egyptians treated dreams as messages. Ancient Greeks slept in healing temples, hoping a god would speak through the night. In many cultures, forgetting a dream meant the message had slipped away before the waking mind could catch it. That explanation felt beautiful, but the real answer is stranger. Your dreams do not vanish because they are meaningless. They vanish because the sleeping brain is terrible at saving them. In 1953, a young researcher named Eugene Aserinsky was watching sleeping eyes move in the laboratory of Nathaniel Clayton at the University of Chicago. Until then, sleep had often been treated like a simple shutdown, a quiet blank space between waking days. But Aserinsky noticed something strange. At certain points during the night, the eyes under closed lids began darting back and forth. The body was still. The brain was not. This became known as REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep, the stage where vivid dreams are most often reported. A few years later, William Dement and Nathaniel Clayton began waking people during REM and non-REM sleep to ask a simple question. Were you dreaming? When people were awakened from REM sleep, they often reported detailed dreams. When they were awakened later, after drifting into another stage or after waking naturally, much of that detail was gone. The lesson was uncomfortable. Dreams are not always forgotten because they were weak. They are forgotten because the timing of waking matters. To understand why, you have to look at the part of your brain that acts like a librarian. Deep inside the brain is the hippocampus, a curved structure important for forming new memories. During the day, it helps take what just happened and bind it into something you can remember later. A face, a place, a conversation, the reason you walked into a room. But during parts of sleep, the chemistry around the hippocampus changes. One of the most important chemicals for memory storage is norepinephrine. In waking life, it helps mark experiences as important. It gives memory a kind of urgency. During REM sleep, norepinephrine drops to extremely low levels. That means your dreaming brain can create scenes, emotions, and stories, but the normal chemical stamp that tells your memory system to save this may be missing. It is like writing a long message on fogged glass. For a moment, the words exist. Then the glass clears. This is why a dream can feel enormous while it is happening and almost unreachable seconds later. The experience was real inside your brain. The storage system was simply not working the same way it works when you are awake. But that is only one layer. The sleeping brain is not just bad at saving dreams. It is also very good at disconnecting them from logic. During REM sleep, areas involved in emotion and imagery can become highly active, while parts of the prefrontal cortex, the region that helps with planning, checking reality, and organizing thoughts, become less active. That is why a dream can jump from your childhood classroom to a spaceship to a kitchen full of wolves, and inside the dream, none of this feels impossible. Your brain is not filing events in a clean order. It is mixing memory fragments, emotion, sensation, and prediction into a living collage. Then you wake up and ask your organized daytime brain to explain it. That is a problem. A dream does not always have the structure your waking memory expects. It may not have a clear beginning, middle, and end. It may be held together by feeling instead of cause and effect. You remember the fear, but not the monster. You remember searching, but not what was lost. You remember someone saying something important, but not the words. Your waking brain tries to convert the dream into a story. but the dream was never built like a normal story. This is where another strange discovery matters. In 2000, Robert Stickgold and his colleagues at Harvard studied people who played the video game Tetris for hours before sleep. Some participants later reported seeing falling Tetris shapes as they drifted into sleep, even people with amnesia who could not consciously remember playing the game. Their brains were replaying patterns from the day, even when ordinary memory could not fully explain where the images came from. That suggests dreams are not always neat recordings. They can be fragments of processing. Your brain may be sorting, testing, and recombining pieces of life without labeling them for later retrieval. So when you wake up and try to remember the dream, you are not always retrieving a finished movie. You are trying to reconstruct a storm, and storms do not leave clean footprints. Then there is the problem of interference. The first few seconds after waking are dangerous for dream memory. The room comes back, the pillow under your cheek, the sound of a fan, the brightness behind the curtains, your phone, your responsibilities, your name, your day. All of these waking details rush in and begin overriding the fragile trace of the dream. The French sleep researcher Perrine Ruby studied differences between people who frequently remember dreams and people who rarely do. Her work suggested that high dream recallers tend to wake more often during the night and show stronger brain responses to sounds while sleeping. In simple terms, they may get more tiny windows where a dream can be transferred into waking memory. That is unfair but useful. People who remember many dreams may not be dreaming more. They may simply be waking at better moments. A dream needs a bridge. A tiny awakening can become that bridge. Without it, the dream may remain inside the sleeping brain and dissolve before the waking self can collect it. This is why you can sometimes remember a dream clearly at 3 in the morning, then forget it completely by sunrise. At 3 in the morning, you woke close to the dream. By sunrise, several more sleep cycles have passed. New dreams, new body sensations, and new waking thoughts have buried the trail. The memory was not deleted all at once. It was crowded out. And yet some dreams survive. The ones that terrify you, the ones that embarrass you, the ones that leave you waking with your heart pounding. Emotion can act like glue. When a dream carries strong fear, grief, desire, or shock, the brain may tag it more powerfully. That is why nightmares often stay longer than ordinary dreams. The sleeping brain may be poor at saving details, but it is excellent at preserving emotional alarms. You may forget the hallway. You may forget the faces, but you remember the feeling that something was behind you. In 2017, neuroscientist Francesca Ciclari and her team used high-density EEG recordings to study what was happening in the brain when people reported dreams. They found that dreaming was linked to changes in a posterior cortical hot zone, a region toward the back of the brain involved in sensory experience. When this area showed certain patterns, people were more likely to report having dreamed, even outside classic REM sleep. That means dreaming is not locked to one simple stage. It can appear whenever the brain generates the right kind of inner experience, but remembering it still depends on whether waking consciousness catches it before it fades. That is the cruel part. Dreaming and remembering dreams are not the same skill. Your brain can be a brilliant dreamer and a terrible archivist. This explains why dream journals work. Not because they make dreams more magical, but because they train the waking brain to catch the fragments before interference destroys them. If you stay still when you wake up, keep your eyes closed for a moment and search for the feeling before the plot, you often recover more. Not the whole dream, but a doorway, a room, a face, a single weird sentence that pulls the rest of the scene back with it. Move too quickly and the thread snaps. Check your phone and the dream is usually gone. Start explaining your day to yourself and the dream loses the competition. Modern life may be uniquely bad for dream memory. The alarm cuts into sleep like a knife. The screen lights up. Notifications arrive. Your brain is forced from symbolic night logic into practical daylight tasks in seconds. Passwords, messages, deadlines, weather, work. The dream does not stand a chance. This is why the dream often feels closer when you wake naturally. There is no sudden alarm blast, no immediate command. The border between sleep and waking stays soft for a little longer, and in that softness, the dream can sometimes be carried across. You may think forgetting dreams means they do not matter, but the opposite may be true. The brain may not be trying to preserve every dream, because every dream was not meant to become a memory. Some dreams may be part of emotional regulation, memory processing, threat simulation, or creative recombination. They may do their work in the dark and disappear because the final product was never the story. The final product was you waking up slightly changed, a fear softened, a memory reorganized, a problem turned over from a strange angle. Matthew Walker, who has written extensively about sleep and dreaming, has described REM sleep as a kind of emotional processing state, where the brain can revisit experiences in a different chemical environment. Whether every dream has a deep meaning is still debated, but the broader idea is powerful. The night mind may be working even when the morning mind cannot read the notes. So the next time you wake with a dream slipping away, do not imagine a blank failure. Imagine a theater crew dismantling a stage before sunrise. The actors are gone. The painted buildings are being folded. The ocean hallway is being taken apart board by board. And you are standing at the door trying to describe the whole production from the smell of sawdust and one blue curtain left behind. That is dream memory, not a saved file, a fading doorway. For 3 seconds it is there. And then your waking brain arrives, turns on the lights, and asks where the universe went.